Hi everybody, it's Heidi with the Weathered Fence Post. Welcome to our channel. If you're new here, my husband Steve and I are resellers in the Raleigh, Garner, North Carolina area. We don't sell online at this time because we have full-time jobs and just can't manage it properly. But we do have two booths in this area, one at Antiques at Gresham Lake in North Raleigh and one at Collected Treasures in Garner. So if you're ever in the area, we hope you come visit us. What we love to do on this channel is to take you out hunting with us and also go over the things that we found. So I usually split those up in two different videos. We separate the hunting from going over the haul. And on tonight's video, we're going to continue a haul video. This will be the third in a series of, I don't know how many it's going to take, of items that we brought back from our trip to upstate New York. I did just do a hunting video with you because there was a sale in our neighborhood that I don't like to miss. It happens twice a year and there's always great stuff there, so I took you along on that. I'm not sure I'll be able to get to a haul on that. I kind of showed you everything I purchased that day that I was hunting. Did go back the next day with Joanne from Bat Thrift Crazy, and I decided not to film. I decided to take the day off from filming and just enjoyed the hunting part. So I don't know if I'm going to have enough time before I push those items into the booths, because I like to get stuff right into the booth as soon as I purchase it. And so I'm really focused on getting through this New York stuff first. So may or may not have a haul on that, that's my point. So anyway, tonight's video, this is what we're going over. Here are the items I pulled out of another bin. I have, I think, 2 more bins to go through downstairs, 1 or 2. This is like one and part of another one. Before we get started into the details, I just want to show you something really pretty. If you watch the videos from our trip to upstate New York, you saw Steve was over there with the owner of Pipe Creek Productions, and he was checking out this floor to ceiling lamp, and he was getting it for us. So we have installed it, or he has. He's cleaned up the globes. They're beautiful. They're just that beautiful amber color, and they just put off such a cozy glow. I absolutely love it. And so happy that Steve picked this out. And you will not believe, he only paid $20 for this lamp. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece for $20. I was looking at them online, and I think they're listed or selling for anywhere from like $85 to $150. I've even seen some listed at $300. So beautiful, beautiful purchase. I never know what to start off with, but today we're going to start off with Garfield. I love this little ornament. It's so adorable. I love Garfield. And this ornament, the little tag on it says 1981. I just think he's adorable. Can't go wrong with Garfield. Another cute, really cute little ornament I picked up was this flocked panda bear on this little wooden rocking horse. And I think this one said 1986. And it also said Matt on the bottom, which is the name of my son, so I kind of thought that was interesting. Grabbed that, and look at this gorgeous little Japan. This is made in Japan, this little creamer, this bird creamer. I think it's adorable. I actually have a couple of these in the cabinet in the back, and I'm not going to add this to my collection because I am trying to be careful about what I'm bringing into my home. I'm trying to tone it down a little bit and only pick certain items, but I just love these little creamers. I think they're so adorable. He found this right off the bat when we went to that Pipe Creek Productions, and I couldn't believe it because this was from Greensboro, North Carolina, and you know, Steve being from North Carolina originally, I guess he just honed right in on it. But this company, S. Lacrosse Incorporated, was in business from 1939 to 2006 in Greensboro, and they were wholesalers. And what this is a little watch parts tin, and apparently they sold quite a few of these because these are pretty abundant out there on the market. But it is a great, I think the graphics are in really good condition, and it's just a nice little piece. Steve, I'm very proud of him on this trip. He did a really good job of helping me hunt for treasures at that place in Tioga Center. He found these 2 pennants, which are really cool. This first one is from West Point. I do believe it's vintage. The felt is very soft on it. You can just tell by the aging on it, the stitching that was involved, the way it's made. This is definitely a vintage piece. Where this one, though it's awesome, it's vibrant, it's got the tiger, vibrant colors on it, it's a circus. I think this is a newer piece. The felt does not feel nice and soft. It's a little stiff. And they are still, from what I understand, an active circus. So I think this is newer, but still a cool piece. So I love them both, and I think Steve did a great job that day bringing treasures to me. Steve's sitting right over there, and he heard me going over that, and he said, I didn't bring you the West Point one. So maybe my mom did. Sorry, Mom. Maybe it was you that brought it to me. But hey, I mess up sometimes. Like, I messed up with this. I thought this was a snuff ring. I thought you wore it on your finger, telling everybody that's what it is. Oh my goodness. It's a lipstick holder. See? The lipstick snaps right in there. And that's the mirror to use to put your lipstick on. If I can open it now. There we go. So there's the mirror to put your lipstick on. So thank you, viewers, for letting me know this is a lipstick holder. This fantastic piece is by Avery Productions, or Avery Creations, I mean. And it's a horse head. It's probably a bookend. There probably was another one, or you just set it up on the shelf right up against the wall. But I think it's really cool because it looks like it's carved out of, you know, a piece of wood, even though it's like a resin or something like that. It's a collectible piece. It's from 1996. And I looked it up online, and they're selling for about $15. Not a lot of money, but I just think it's really just a great piece if you're a horse enthusiast. I do know that Steve found this one. This is a Dr. Seuss called Riddles. I did point this out in the video. It's not in perfect condition. It's got some damage to it, but we had never come across this before. It is from 1960, and it does have a child's name in it. I don't see that we're probably going to get a lot of money for it. I just like to have unique things like this in our booth. It does help draw people in. They get an idea that in our booths you're going to find these unique, different type of items. So we definitely picked it up. And Steve, having the memory that he has, I don't have this kind of memory. He says it was one of the first books that he ever checked out in first grade. Now how he remembers that, I don't know. I'm going to throw in a couple things like this while we go over stuff from New York, because we brought this back from New York too. I didn't hunt for this. My mother did, and had it ready and waiting for me. She showed it to me while I was down here in North Carolina. She sent me a text and said, do you want this basket? And I said, yes, all day long. Definitely want the basket. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think this is? I was attracted to it just because it's a wooden box, and it has like almost like a parquet look to it to me. Looks like maybe at some point somebody painted the bottom black, so I can't see if there's any writing or maker's mark or anything on the bottom. Has this really pretty like brass thing. There's the inside, it's lined. Now, first glance you might think it's a cigar box. The lining made me think cigar box, but then when I saw all these little holes and dots, is it cribbage? Is that what it is? Tell me what you think. I can't find anything online. Here is a beautiful aged tin. I'm not going to even try to say the name. It's Dutch, right? Or Holland? Dutch, yes. Dutch cocoa. I think the tin is awesome. It's also got some raised lettering there. I mean, it's not, you know, in perfect condition, but it depends on the type of collector that you are. Some people want their items to be pristine, perfect condition. Other people want it to be rusty and crusty and have the patina. We just try to find things for all different types of people. I personally gravitate more towards this, the patina, the rust, the rusty goodness, the weathered fence post, the weatheredness of it. But if I find, you know, if I come across something that I know is of value and it's in pristine condition, I'm not going to shy away from it, because we have people that enjoy that too. So I thought this was a really cool tin. This is probably one of my favorite finds from the trip. I would put it up there as one of the top. If there were, I mean, I brought back, I didn't count how many, I haven't counted yet. I'm going through the videos, and as I'm showing the stuff, I'm counting how many items I'm showing. So I think we're up to over 50 some items so far. So I'm sure that we brought back over 100 items. So I would put this in the top 10 of those items. It is from the 1800s. It is an antique. And it is a coin purse that is made out of shell. And it on the front, I don't want to touch the front too much because the lettering is coming off, and that is where some of the value is. It says right here that it's made in Germany, right there. And then it also says from Atlantic City. And it's, when you open it up, it has that on the inside. And these are like cardboard, kind of like cardboard and cloth. So it's a coin purse that people would use. I just think it's fantastic. I love it. And you know I brought back a bunch of ephemera, and so let's go through some more of it. Each video I'm going to do a little bit of it because I did grab a bunch of it, and that place was just loaded with it. I could have spent days in there going through it, and I think this stuff is fantastic. If you're an ephemera collector, you've got my vote because I think this stuff is just so cool. It's just got such a great history. I have no idea where this piece is from. I just love it. This postcard. Here's another one I believe is from Germany. And again, just, oh, look at this little child sitting on this like carved wooden stool or chair holding, I think, is that a fox? I think that might be a fox. And then there's the back of it. I just think that's so fantastic. This, I think, was somewhere in France. I was reading the back. It's from July 10th, 1958. And I think they were saying, "Dear folks, wonderful trip so far. Paris was fabulous, but we could only cover the highlights in 5 days. Let's see, I think the people are wonderful. There are flowers everywhere. We leave for Italy tomorrow." So these people were on a European trip, and they sent back this postcard to somebody in Long Island, New York. So very cool. I love reading the back of those postcards. Here's a picture from 1948. This couple sitting in front of this window. Oh boy. I mean, I wonder what was going on there. Were they visiting somebody and somebody snapped their picture? Were they waiting on something? Were they at a school event for their grandchildren? Who knows? But I'm sure there's a story behind it. I wish I knew what it was. This is an operator's license for Mercy Morgan out of Owego. If you're anybody from New York watching and this is Mercy Agnes Morgan, and has her birthday on here. This is from 1936. So cool. So very cool. This is Endicott Trust Company. This is from 1946. It looks like it was a check for $2,700. I think that's so cool. FOA out of Cornwall, New York. And I believe that's probably Farmers of America, maybe? Is that what you think it is? And here's the back of it with the colors. Love this. I mean, where else are you going to find something like this? This is so cool. I get excited about it. And I love that I really am going to try to find time. Like, I have extra time to start doing junk journaling because I just think that's a great way to save these and display these beautiful pieces from the past. This is, let's see, again, this is like I can never think of the word. Well, maybe this is just somebody who was keeping track of their expenditures. It's more like a journal of expenditures. Tab, that's what I keep trying to think of, like a store would run a tab for somebody. I don't think this is a tab. This looks like they were keeping track of how much they were spending and on what. But it just has writing in it. It does have, it's an old book, and it does have the ABCD, the alphabet there, so that's cool. I believe this is leather that has broken down quite a bit, but I think this is a pretty special piece. Now look at this gorgeous lady. Look at her. I cannot say her name. It looks like it's in Swedish or maybe German. I don't know. I'll show you the back. I don't know if it's going to focus in well or not, but that's the back of it, and just lovely, just beautiful. Here is, let's see, this is useful stationery. I don't know if that was just a piece of the stationery signal series, like maybe it was on the outside of the box that the stationery was in. I just thought it was cool with the night. And then this was really cool. This is a storybook for good little girls. She doesn't look happy to me. She don't look like she's being happy being a good little girl. But I was looking for a date in here and I didn't see it. This is out of New York, Kiggins and Kellogg. Storybook for good little girls. And it's just a little paper storybook. And here's what the back of it looks like. A lot of advertising. So I love the ephemera. I do. I think that trip really kind of solidified that for me. I did it again. I said ephemera, didn't I? Ephemera. Here is a Lufkin folding ruler. It's in good condition. The lettering isn't that great, but the ruler itself, or the measuring stick, whatever you want to call it, is in really good condition. So I definitely picked that up. Here's an interesting piece. You don't come across these very often, so I'm going to give you a minute, if you don't know what it is, to think about what this could be. And I'll show you what it is. It's a hat holder. Now, it wouldn't be for this type of hat. I didn't have a pretty vintage hat to put on there, but typically it probably would be for a derby or a beautiful vintage hat. And I actually have sold these in the booth before. I do like to have them in the booth to display hats. I have a couple, and whenever I come across these, I do pick them up. Decided to pick up this ashtray that had the little donkeys on it, and it's a Hamilton product made in the United States, so it's just a little ashtray with little donkeys. I just think, you know, it's unique. I don't think you're going to come, like I said, we like to have unique, interesting things like this in our booth. Sometimes you just have to trust your gut. I picked this up. I remember looking at it and I loved the swirl of it. I looked it over. I didn't see any damage. And I don't think that's damage right there. It could be. It could have one little spot right there. I'll have to see if that comes off or if that's actually like a, you know, like a scratch. But I did see on the bottom, I wasn't familiar with the name that's listed here, but I did see that it said made in Italy. And I wasn't familiar with this Barovier and Toso. Well, right below it, it says Murano. So this is actually a Murano Paperweight, and I've started doing some research to locate this swirl design. And some of the pieces that I'm seeing listed, I haven't gotten as far as the solds yet, but I'm seeing some that are listed $50 to $80. So I actually do collect glass paperweights. I might have to keep this one. We'll see. We'll see. It's fantastic. I'm going to show you Santa hook rug right now because he seems to be a little distracting back there, doesn't he? So I think you probably saw us find this if you watched the video on our way up to New York. We made a stop and we hunted in that Salvation Army. And in what, Warrenton, I think it was, in Warrenton, and I found this Santa hook rug. So this is like the second hook rug I've come across recently. I had the other one recently that was the eagle that was flying, so I haven't put that one in the booth yet. I don't know how they do, but I thought for $3.99 it was a definite yes to pick it up and give it a try. And he's just so cute. And I told you that I was able to shop in my sister's garage. She had a yard sale like the week or 2 weeks before we got there. And she had some things left over she was getting ready to donate. And so I said, well, let me take a look. And she also said, you need to come look. I took a whole bin out of there of stuff. So most of it was holiday themed, either fall or Christmas. And here was some really, I just think some really pretty stockings. Nice country decor look. And I really think these felt ones are really cute with the little snowmen on them. So I've got these two skinny stockings and then these two big fat country stockings, which I think will be great when it comes Christmas. And this was just another cute little piece from my sister's yard sale. It has little rustic bells on it. It says, believe in the magic of Christmas. And it's got this cute little striped pillow. Thank you, Julie. One more item from Julie, I forgot. This is definitely contemporary, a little bit outside of my style, but I thought it was really cool because it had this beautiful marble base and just this really simple design for a candlestick. I think she said Brianna, my niece, actually donated this to the yard sale, so I went ahead and grabbed that and we'll see how that does. I picked up this mason jar, and I think I picked this up at the place in Tioga Center, the antique store in Tioga Center. And inside of it are these chips, and we opened them up, and I think Steve told me he believes they are from the Boy Scouts. Now I don't know anything about the Boy Scouts. Matthew wasn't in the Boy Scouts, so I don't know like if people earn chips. I know they earn patches, but I didn't know if they earn chips for things that they do. And this was just a collection of somebody's chips. I thought they were really cool, and I'm going to probably just keep them in this jar just like they are and sell them that way. I think it's a cool shelf, you know, display piece, and it's red, white, and blue, so it would be good around, you know, 4th of July, Memorial Weekend, Labor Day weekend, any of the patriotic holidays. So Steve's saying he's not sure, 100% sure that was Boy Scouts, but that was kind of a guess that we had. He's now saying maybe it was Shriners or something, but I'll have to do a little more research, or I know one of you will let me know, and I appreciate that. It saves me time. Okay, so this is Blue Willow, not Willow Tree. I called it Willow Tree in the hunting video. I have no idea, but this is Blue Willow. And he had quite a bit of that there. So I do know every time I go up there, I could probably pick up a couple pieces. It isn't something that I overwhelm the booth with, but I do put a piece in here or there, and it usually does find a home. This is a decanter. Now it was supposed to have like a little rubber around this. So that's a little loose. But I still think it doesn't, there's the rubber right there. Some of it's coming off, I'll have to wash it off. This needs a really good cleaning. I don't think that's gonna be, you know, a critical issue if that isn't tight. I think somebody's probably just gonna use this as a decorative piece and not as a functional piece. But really pretty either way. And unique, again, I don't know if I've come across a Blue Willow decanter before. Here is another fabulous piece that I found there, and it is a Glowy uranium bowl. And this one's really, it's gorgeous. I love this bowl. I did show you in the last video, I think, 2 plates. One of those is actually already sold. And I imagine this bowl is going to go kind of quick. I think the design on it with it's almost like a crackle finish on it. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great piece. I did pick up this belt buckle. I was looking through a couple belt buckles, and this was one I thought had a cool design on it. I was looking to see if it was 925 silver or any type of silver, and it does need a little cleaning, but I didn't see anything right off that was indicating that. But I still think it was pretty cool based on its design. Found this little chicken or rooster. I got him, I think, at one of the church rummage sales. He's kind of like that material that is stiff, so he's just a cute country piece. And then this little lamb that's got that blue speckle look to it. There was a cat there too that I saw in the video, and I forgot, or I think it was a cat that I forgot to pick up, and I planned on going back and picking it up, and I forgot to grab it. I might have to send my mother over there for that. Now my mother had picked up a couple dolls, I think these 2. And then while we were there, she said she had picked them up there, and while we were there we found another one. So I've started doing a little research on these, and believe it or not, these are Avon dolls. So they're called Avon Fine Collectibles. They're porcelain dolls, and I looked them up. They're from the early 1990s, and this one is called, and please forgive me if I say the names wrong, Masako, to represent Japan. And there's her beautiful outfit and garments. And this is Adama, to represent Nigeria. And that's her beautiful garment. And like I said, they are porcelain. They are really, actually nice dolls. And they have their stands. And then this we found when we were out hunting together. She actually brought it up to me, and that's what she told me. She had picked those up at that place. This is Tsame, and she's to represent Native American. And there's her beautiful outfit. So I think there are more dolls to represent the entire set. I don't know if there were 5 or 8, but I will give these a try. I mean, dolls aren't something that we do a lot, but we do some dolls occasionally. So we'll see how these do. You saw me get all excited about this if you watched the hunting video. This is a stack of turtles. I believe they're probably box turtles. Which, did you know that a box turtle, now my sister Wendy, if you're watching, you'll correct me on this. because I think you just looked this up recently. I think they only live within a mile or a 5-mile range. They never leave that area. So if you ever pick up a box turtle, it's crossing the road or something, and you relocate it too far away, you've taken it out of its place where it lives. But this is the box turtle, I believe, and I am going to have Steve make a lamp out of it. That's what it was. So we're going to get this back to being a lamp. And I picked up this piece of pottery. I don't know the name on the back. There's a name on the back, but a lot of times for some reason, it's really hard to read potters' names, and I wish they would really do a better job at that, because I'd really like to give them credit for their artwork. This is a wall pocket or wall vase. I thought it had a really cool look. I like that it's kind of folded at the bottom here. Just a very cool, and you know I love pottery, so definitely had to grab that. Okay, we're nearing the end. We're going to go over this cute little horse with the wooden wheels and these ribbons on it that I'm going to remove because I think they were added after the fact. I'm going to give him a good cleaning. He's got a lot of I don't think these are supposed to be on there. Maybe they were. Maybe they were. I just feel like somebody dressed up this plastic little horse with these ribbons and lace. I'm just not sure that's supposed to be on there. At any rate, he is from 1966. So he is 57 years old, he or she. And where I picked this up was at the yard sales in Nichols, New York. And the lady told me that her children rode this horse like crazy. And I just can't believe he's actually in good condition. Now, you heard the handle fall down. I am not 100% sure that this handle was part of it, or if it was, it's missing something to hold it in there. Maybe it had like a smaller piece or a bigger piece that went around the dowel to hold that dowel in place, but it just keeps falling out. But at any rate, a pretty cool little toy. When we were at Nichols, I told you it was like old home days to me. We actually went to a yard sale to somebody named Dr. Orm, and I think I've got his name right, Dr. Orm. A lot of people knew him. He is a dentist, and while we were at the sale, everybody kept coming up and giving him a hug and talking to him, and they were so happy to see him. And apparently he was leaving the area to relocate, and I think it was kind of sad for a lot of people. And so he was selling his stuff, and I picked this up. I thought these were really cool. They're just like this cascade of planters or earthenware, and he said these came from New Mexico, so I was pretty excited about these. One of them has some damage, the one that's on the bottom, so I could just cut this one off and leave just that set, or just let it be as it is. It's not broken, but it's probably not going to last long. It's got a pretty good crack on it. Probably it's not picking up very well, but there's a pretty good crack on it, so we'll see. We are nearing the end. We're down to a few more items. I always pick these leather-bound measuring wheels up, measuring tape, whatever you call these. They pull out. Look, I love the print on them. It's like a measuring tape that's in a wheel. And look at that. Really cool. And then you just wind it back up when you're done. Now this one, it's so worn. It's Lufkin. It does say Lufkin. I can see it. Barely see it on there. And you're not going to be able to pick it up. I know my phone's not going to focus, so I'm not even going to try. And then here's one that's a little bit newer version. It's got a metal case that's not leather bound. And the tape is not like that soft material. It's more of a plastic, so it's a newer version. Both of them are made in the USA though. And every time we put these in the booth, they do sell. Okay, talking about unique items. This is kind of an oddball thing. I don't know, who is going to want this, but I thought it was cool looking. Steve thought it was cool looking. So we said, you know what, let's give it a try. It's some type of gauge that either went on top of a air pump or something. What would this go on top of, Steve? I don't know. This says USG, like an air compressor or something gauge. But it has a really cool look to it. I just think somebody would, I want to clean this one off. It says Black & Decker Valve Tester. And I just love the little arrow on it. I just think it has such a neat look, and I will be able to clean that up. It's really, really dirty right now. And then this one says the Powers Regulator Company out of Chicago, New York. Again, I love those arrows. I think they're so cool with it looks like a moon almost on the end. But so it's just some gauges, and I think if we display them in the booth as a set, you know, all together, I think somebody might really find these interesting. I cleaned that one off. I just wanted you to see it when it's nice and clean. I think it's awesome. I think that's probably my favorite one. Last two items. We've got this pulley, just a metal pulley. I've put these in the booth. They're just a nice rustic, crusty decor piece that people like to use in their decorating. It's kind of heavy. It came in while we were there, and we came upon a price of $20 is what we paid for this. Now, it's kind of high. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get for it. We'll see. I've got to clean it all off, get all the cobwebs off and everything, but it's got this humongous hook, and it's got this ring down here, and it's like this double pulley. Now, it doesn't have the inside. I just noticed that. So it's missing a key element to the pulley, but I think it will be a great decor piece, and we'll see if, you know, I lose my money on this, if we make money, or how we do. Okay, that's it for this haul video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you thought the pieces were interesting. Maybe they spurred a memory for you. Maybe you can share some information about it. Feel free to tell us the pieces that you found to be the most interesting. At any rate, we've still got a couple more bins to go through. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try very hard to finish this off by the end of this week, by the end of this Sunday. Be done with that trip from upstate New York, because we will be at 3 weeks since that trip this weekend. So let's be done with it so we can move on to other treasures and other hunting adventures. So everybody, please take care. You can find all of these treasures and many, many more in our booths, either at Antiques at Gresham Lake in North Raleigh or Collected Treasures in Garner. Get out there yourselves this week, find yourself a treasure, and put a big smile on your face.